I just want to start by saying this. I've always been a PC gamer, like my entire life. Consoles never really pulled me in. The couch, the controller, the whole console ecosystem, it never felt like my thing. I always believed I could do everything better on my PC anyway. But there was always one game people kept throwing at me. You have to play this, you're missing this, this is one of the greatest game ever made. And the game is Last of Us. There is actually so much of PS exclusives, but Last of Us is something that's been thrown out to me multiple times as suggestion by my friends. For more than 10 years, I kept hearing the same thing, and for 10 years, I avoided it. Not because I hated it, but because I knew once I started it, I would care. And yeah, I was right. First, the reason why I avoided this game so long. I always thought, okay, it's probably good, but how good can it really be? Zombie game, post-apocalyptic world. I've seen it before. In fact, multiple time, multiple games share the same premise. So that's a reason. And also, there was a PC situation. This game is console only. I never owned a console, so actually there is no way for me to play it without console. So that was a main reason why I didn't try it. And finally, on 2023, Naughty Dog finally decided to release this game on PC. But you know what? The gaming gods were not very kind to me. I have to wait again. You want to know the reason? Crashes, performance issues, people complaining everywhere that the game's PC launch was just a mess. So I waited again. Not perfect, but playable. So I finally said to myself, alright, let's see what all this hype is about. And honestly, I did not expect what this game did to me. First impression, the story hooks you fast. Right from the beginning, the story hits you emotionally. The opening sequence alone, seeing the world collapse, seeing everything fall apart so fast, it doesn't feel like a video game intro. It felt real. You're not watching a hero story, you're watching people lose everything. And that's when Joel clicked for me. He's not some superhero. He's broken, closed off, angry, and after what he's been through, you get it. Right? I get it. When Ellie enters the picture, I initially thought, okay, escort mission, I've seen this before, but very quickly it stops feeling like a mission and start feeling like a relationship forming in real terms between these two individuals who literally lost everything. Even now, I keep asking myself why the story hit me so hard. As the journey goes on, I realized something important. I wasn't just playing a game, I was emotionally invested in the story. I cared if Ellie got hurt. I panicked when Joel was in danger. When they were separated, I genuinely felt uncomfortable. This feeling of emotionally invested in a story is not something that we get often. Even with high budget movies, with tons of money put into writing, they couldn't achieve what this game gave me. And what really surprised me was how human everything felt. People aren't good or evil, they are surviving. Everyone's doing terrible things for reasons that make sense to them. Even the enemies, you can understand where they are coming from. Throughout the game, there are multiple cult like people who are just killing everyone inside just to collect things. Morally gray area, I wouldn't say I would do that because that's definitely wrong. But I can see that's happening in the real world. If something like an apocalypse breaks tomorrow, this is exactly what's going to happen. People are just going to gang up on people who cannot fight for themselves, just snatch over everything so that the powerful survives. Right? This is where the game shines. I can see reality, the world that I am living in, reflected exactly on picture. The overall world and atmosphere, it felt dead but not empty. You see the remains of normal life everywhere: abandoned houses, notes, old stories, broken families. It genuinely feels like this is what our world would look like if everything collapsed. And this is why this story hits harder because it feels possible. Not flashy, not dramatic, just real. Then let's talk about the main important thing about a video game: the gameplay, the PC experience. I played with mouse and keyboard, and I'll be honest, the port is not perfect. Controls can feel awkward, key binding aren't always intuitive. Switching weapons mid game can be frustrating. And yeah, I had crashes, a lot of them. But here's the thing: even with all of that, I couldn't still stop playing because the gameplay design itself is very strong. Ammo is limited, resources matter, every fight felt tense. You're not meant to feel powerful, you're meant to survive, and that's what I've keep telling to myself, and I love that. Every bullet counts, every decision matters, every encounter makes you think. The moment that broke me, these are the scenes in that game that genuinely stuck with me. You know, the time when Joel was injured, Ellie has to survive on her own. The winter session, the entire sequence was intense. I felt her fear. I felt her desperation. All that was going on in my mind was, what will I do if I was a teenage guy or a girl just stuck in a post apocalyptic world and the only person that really took care of me is not well now and I've been hunted by multiple adults and it's up to me to save that guy as well as me. I have to survive too. Really, my heart was bouncing. I really felt in that situation, and that's something that very less games have given me. And when finally Ellie strikes back, that moment hit hard. Not because it was cool, but because it felt earned. The game slowly builds the bond between them. And by the time the story reaches the end, it's impossible not to care. And then comes the ending. I completely understand Joey's decision, man. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying I get it. If I were in his place, I don't know if I'll be strong enough to choose differently. Because after all Joel's been through, there is no way he would let another person who he cares as much as her daughter die. Like this is why this game is going to stay with me, staying with you, assuming that you still watch this video about Last of Us, a game that's released more than 10 years ago. So yeah, this game is about people. It's not about a zombie game. It's about people, love, more than that, loss, fear, and the things we are willing to do for the ones we care about, and that's why it stays with you. That's why people still talk about it 10 years later, well, 13 years at this point. And yeah, my only regrets are I wish I played this game years ago. I really do. But at the same time, I'm glad I experienced it now because it reminded me why I loved video games in the first place. Not for the graphics, not for the mechanics. In fact, I didn't know mechanics for so long, what even mechanics means. Maybe even now I have a little bit clarity on that. Anyway, but for the stories that makes you feel something, that's what games is about, right? So you get to play as this character, you get invested into the story, you get to live an entirely different life in a different world as a different character and play the fucking game, right? So yeah, that was my experience with The Last of Us. If you had played it years ago, I honestly envy you. I'm a little jealous too. If you haven't played it yet and you somehow avoided all the spoilers like I did, please experience it yourself. You will love it. And if you have already played it, I would love to know, did this game hit you the same way that I have described in this video? Or do you have a different experience? Also, does the ending kind of mess you up? Because I am kind of messed up now. Let me know in the comments. I would love to read those. See you again in another great video about some other great game. Bye bye bye.